you, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here in person with you both to talk about your Fair Chance experience. But before we get started, to hear about your partnership experience, Charlyn, can you please share a little bit more about starting with today?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting with today really seeks to collaborate with the communities that we serve, and we invite them to the table as we develop in program around mental health, financial and economic empowerment, and career services. One of the things that we have loved to do since May of 2018 is the Shape Up, and that's a program where we bring in the Black a licensed therapist or professional to the Black barbershop. And we started that in Lee's Barbershop in Southeast DC. And we really sought to reduce the barriers that exist for Black communities to have culturally competent access to quality mental health services. Since the pandemic, we launched the sister to that program, which is My Hair Appointment. And taking the lessons that we've learned from the Shape Up, we bring in Black women, identifying women, who bring in programming that help us explore, cultivate, and define well-being on our own terms. And so that's been starting with today in a nutshell, and more programs to come.
Why the Fair Chance Partnership? I'm going to start with Charlyn. Can you share a little bit more? Was there a specific need or issue you all were facing that brought you to Fair Chance? Why did you apply for the Fair Chance Partnership?
Absolutely. And we had we were invited initially, or, told about Fair Chance initially through one of your alumni, Jeff Tribble, who just, graduated from the musicianship. He has taken another offer. But he recommended us to us, and we were still very young and still trying to find our identity at that point. Once we launched the Shape Up, our impact began to scale tremendously, and we knew we needed more support to scale to the next level. We didn't know what we didn't know, right? And so I think that was the opportunity to partner with Fair Chance, who came highly recommended through several people, and then, really met the needs culturally, I think, through the interview process, where we felt seen, where we felt like we didn't need to have it all together, right? And that really believed in the vision and the mission that we were trying to continue to do, and then definitely take to the next level.
Charlyn, why did you decide to, why do you think that it's important to sort of have something like Fair Chance here?
I believe one of the unique things about Fair Chance is that it's one-on-one, right? And so my needs were different from your needs. And so other programs that kind of give a general, broad base, and we're not at the same level, and there's some things you're really far ahead on and that we're still developing, and vice versa. So I think that one-on-one time was really important for us, and that was catered and specialized to where we were as an organization. That was the first thing. And then the second thing was just having the support system, because learning on your own, even with the best intentions, takes forever. And trying to do that while running programs, while applying to grants, while, we're really building a plane while we're flying it, right? And so it's nice to have someone else that be like, hey, we can help build the plane while we're in the air. So I think that's what Fair Chance really gave us the opportunity to do.
Well, I'm sure everyone is dying to hear more about your partnership experience. So, can you share more about the work you accomplished? Are there any tangible things that you are taking away from the partnership for your organization or even for yourself as a leader?
Yeah, I think there's been so much that we are excited about. One, we have strengthened our infrastructure, and that was, the goal. We wanted to strengthen our infrastructure, our processes. We wanted our board to be tighter as well, and have the resources and the structure that they needed to know their roles and responsibilities. And I think one of the things where I thought everybody needs to be, doing the same thing at the same time, and but it's like, no, it's not necessarily that way. And just having that knowledge, I think, was just really beneficial. And now we have a plan, right? Like, we have a plan. We know where we're going. We know what the future looks like. We know what we need. we can identify those are the things that we need now, and we can tell you very clearly about what we're really good at. And I think that's night and day difference than where we were overwhelmed a year ago, not knowing what to expect, but definitely not knowing where we would be through the pandemic, and definitely on the other side of it. I feel like even in the interview processes, there were, we were already being coached, right? Which is great, right? It wasn't like we're against you, or it's like, okay, no, what do you need? Okay, we can give you that now, like, which is a really, I think, testament to the fair chance approach to service.
Well, you all had the great fortune of being in our first Pathways cohort that we considered the learning/leadership development cohort. And that we wanted the executive directors to come away from the partnership learning about their strengths and how more about themselves as a leader. And one of the things we did in this cohort is to convene a read-along where we discussed Brene Brown's Dare to Lead, and where we talked about a lot of other leadership topics as well. So can you all share one story that exemplifies how, as a result of this leadership development work, you have changed as a leader or how you've evolved as a leader?
I think there were a couple things, right? I think getting to know the other cohort members, getting to know Tyree, hearing his story and perspective was a healing space for us, and talking to Sarita throughout the process. I think that space was, we didn't have to come in perfect or having it together or having any deliverables. We can come, as is and work through it. I think was a space that we probably didn't know we needed until we got there. And I feel like the read-alongs, from the strength-based assessments through the read-alongs, just really going from focusing on my deficits or how I feel like leadership or executive leadership should look like, what we've seen historically, right, white male leadership, versus what does it look like for me as a Black woman in a low to moderate income, serving Black community, and hone in on that, I think has really shifted something in my leadership style, where I'm not coming into a space feeling like I need to prove, but I just need to share. And I think that has saved a lot of energy.
What is one thing that Starting Today is embarking on as a result of this partnership that is going to help the community you serve?
Yeah, I think we're a bit ambitious at this point. We're a bit braver in our programming and our ask. So we are starting a Jumpstart Health Week next week that leads into Juneteenth. And it's a week of mind, body, physical healthness. We bringing in doctors, nutritionists, mental health professionals, fitness instructors, and then we're having an outdoor in-person. You coming through? In-person wellness event where the DJ, but health screenings by Howard University and Ventus Healthcare, and fitness classes where the community. So what are these barriers, and how can we begin to strategically and immediately reduce them? And I think that's really our niche, and really connecting to the community in a really authentic way, because while we have focused heavily on mental health, we know that physical health through this COVID pandemic, right, has really highlighted these inequities. And so what can we do to really kind of shine some light on that and make wellness culturally a strength in our community?
So I get the great pleasure of sharing a little bit more about my executive directors and not just their organization. Liz Wiseman, who is the author of a book called Multipliers, defines a multiplier as a leader who takes time to understand the capabilities of each individual so that they can connect them with the right people and the right opportunities, thereby creating a virtuous cycle of attraction, growth, and opportunity. Charlyn Anderson exemplifies everything in this quote, and in our time together, I've been able to bear witness to her keen strength in bringing the right people to the table, allowing them to see where they best fit and hold the most value. Without a doubt, this strength well positioned starting with today to advance deeply community-embedded solutions that promote Black well-being and liberation. Please join me in congratulating Charlyn Anderson and starting with today for successfully completing the Fair Chance Pathways Partnership.
Thank you. It's beautiful. I'm short, so put that there. The Fair Chance partnership and community has been a healing space. And I think where we were broken and insecure and trying to figure it out, we began to really find solutions and know that there's solutions that already exist, that we're not starting from scratch, and that people believed in our work. Sarita, you're a godsend. There's nothing short of that. Just being able to connect with you and share with you and not have to leave any of my identity at the door in our spaces. I think when we spend so much time with a person, you want to feel emotionally safe, and especially when you're talking about, your baby, your nonprofit. That's still in development, right? Just like your child, you really wanted to make sure it's in good hands. And I believe that you believe in us and you saw the vision beyond what I was seeing at the time and what was possible. And so I really appreciate that. I feel like you took a chance on us. I feel like Therese is a much stronger organization than we were at the time. But I believe in the last year that we are empowered to really move forward in our community and to really allow the beauty that we see in the community to be shown to the world. It's been a joy working with you. I can't there's so much alignment. So I always be thinking okay, how are we gonna do something outdoors and wellness? So that's to come. To the fiercest, strongest advocate that we have is our board chair. And she rides for us and shines for us and asks the questions that her expertise that I don't have. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's good. And she'd be like, no. And so in with her in the room, I know that I'm taken care of. I know that I am protected. I know that she has our best interests at heart and that she's going to say what needs to be said. And then also to communicate to the board. A lot of times I know as EDs that we have 15 million things on the plate, and it's so hard to really communicate quarterly what's happening over 3 months. And Quisha does an amazing job of that messaging and rallying with our board that is invaluable. And I think now having these tools, it just makes it so much more easier. So thank you so much for the time commitment and championing that you do